Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're hearing us from or watching us from today. So, we are glad to bring you another market update on the 6th of January 2025. The market also started on a positive note today, but we have an action packed edition today. So, join us as we go. And a little bit of housekeeping if you're just watching us for the first time. This broadcast content, everything we are sharing on this channel is for education and information purpose only. So, do your due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any decision. On that note, we are going to go into our update today. So, before I do that, please subscribe to our channel, put on your notification bell so that you don't miss any of our updates. And that's the best way you can support us on this channel. Thank you. So today, we got the news that President Trump is planning a universal tariff. And according to the Washington Post, uh, you know, there is actually a plausible indication that President Trump might actually extend the targeted tariff that he was announcing during his campaign, that he might make it a global or universal tariff. And this could actually affect a whole lot of exports and imports. Imports going out of entering the US, exports leaving the US, because if President Trump goes ahead to plan a tariff of this nature targeting virtually all the major countries of the world that imports to America, it could affect the likes of Apple, the likes of Walmart, a lot of grocery companies, fashion retailers, from Target to Kruger's to Macy's. Many of these companies who actually sell goods and services that are not made in the US might actually see a major bump, increasing the prices of their goods and services, which in turn will actually affect, sales. But President Trump has actually fired back, as expected, that this report is untrue, that as a matter of fact, he is not going ahead to actually increase this tariff. Actually, he wants to actually reduce the number of tariff, according to him. But the rest is yet to be seen. But as an investor, how is this important to you? It is important that you know the stocks that you own, and after the inauguration, at least 48 to 72 hours after the inauguration, we'll actually have an idea of how this will affect the financial markets. So today, on a negative tone, on a negative note, Morgan Stanley actually did something positive, but also a bit negative for Palantir. So, remember yesterday we released our special Sunday special content on why I invested on Palantir, why we invested on Palantir, and also across our picks. So today, Morgan Stanley is initiating coverage for Palantir. They actually increased the price target of the stock from $20 per share to $60 per share. However, they went on a negative note to say they are giving it an underweight rating because they believe the momentum and execution that Palantir has actually exhibited in the last 1 year has been priced into the stock. More or less buying into the story that the stock is overvalued. As of now, Palantir is more than $160-170 billion, even with the 5.5% that it actually pulled back today. So the stock responded pretty much negatively, but just like I've said, Palantir is a stock that has a cult following, as the likes of Jim Cramer of CNBC is even saying is a cult stock, it's a meme stock. It's like the meme stock for the AI hype. But for me, and I'm going to drop that video I did yesterday on the reasons behind my decision to keep investing in this company. I'm going to drop that link in the description of this video. Watch that video, see what I said, evaluate it, Let me hear from you. Are you buying or selling Palantir? I really want to see your interesting takes. So on that note, I don't necessarily believe this stock will continue to go down. I just believe the stock will actually pull back to about 65 to $70 before we get another momentum, and this stock is going back to 80 towards 100 per share. So today as well, on another negative note, Salesforce and Palo Alto Networks actually, they were knocked with downgrades. So Guggenheim are one of the most respected analysts on Wall Street. They are downgrading these two companies. So number one, Salesforce with the ticker symbol CRM, they believe, this stock would not necessarily perform as expected in line with the AI boom, the AI hype. But if you look at what Salesforce is doing and how Salesforce has been making inroads into the likes of financial services, marketing, advertising, content, a whole lot of industries, especially service-oriented industries, even hospitality, aviation, many of them have moved to Salesforce. And with the agent force that Salesforce has launched recently, I don't necessarily believe that Salesforce is going to underperform this year. Palo Alto Networks, I believe this is a bit close to the reality for me, from my own experience, from my own opinion. If you look at what CrowdStrike has done, despite the fact that CrowdStrike had a scandal that actually saw the stock pulling back by up to almost 30%. But what happened to CrowdStrike? CrowdStrike has regained everything, and CrowdStrike has started getting even upgrades. So Palo Alto Networks, a cybersecurity network company, competing with the like of CrowdStrike, has not really performed. And so I agree with that aspect, but with Salesforce, I don't necessarily agree. Personally, I don't even own Salesforce, but I'm looking at the right time to actually see if I still want to own it, or I will just own it indirectly through the ETFs. So now we start with the negative, with the positive aspect of our coverage today. So if you remember, towards the beginning of this year, I was bullish on Uber. As a matter of fact, before the New Year celebration, I actually said Uber is going to be a stock to watch this year. And Uber today made a bold move. The company themselves, not an upgrade, not any report, not any scoop from any company. Uber has just contacted Bank of America, and Bank of America is going to execute a $7 billion share repurchase program for Uber. Why? Because Uber actually believes that the stock of the company is undervalued compared to the fundamentals of the business, compared to the bookings that the business is making, compared to the bullish move that Uber has made in the last 1 year. Because it was just very irrational that within about a month or two, Uber stock pulled back by almost 20%. And from the beginning of this year, the stock has started actually building back. And I believe with this buyback, Uber is actually going back to about $80 per share. Uber is one of the top picks for me for this year. So a very good one for Uber, because they knew that their business is solid. If you look at the entire Western Hemisphere, the entire major cities in the Northern Hemisphere as well, Uber taxis are everywhere. The robotaxi hype, Tesla robotaxi, the Waymo and the likes, they are still far into the future. Yes, Waymo has about 10,000 robotaxis in the US, but that's just the US. Uber is a global business. Uber's booking will actually do better than ever before, because this year we are likely to see a huge resurgence in global tourism, global business travel, and that is what makes Uber to be a buy for me. So Lucid, also one of the positive notes for today. So in the last 3 years, Lucid really has gotten a huge beating. So this stock actually crashed from all-time high when it was about $55 to $54 per share. It crashed to about almost a penny. So Lucid came out today that their delivery numbers was actually a surprise. They beat the market's estimate, of 2,637, units of their cars, and they are beating it by about 11% in the third quarter, about 78% higher than the fourth quarter a year earlier. And on an annual basis, Lucid Delivery has now grown by about 71%. So what this means is that Lucid is now trying to make the business to actually keep up with the manufacturing demands. Yes, like Elon Musk actually said, which I actually agree with him, developing your prototype might be very easy, but scaling production that actually will meet the standards, the quality, the brand vision is quite hard. So it seems Lucid has actually gotten a hang of how they can scale their production and meet the demands of the deliveries that they need to be delivered, that they need to actually, do for their customers and new converts. If you look at what Tesla is doing, Tesla is actually on a decline. So Rivian is also growing their deliveries beyond the estimate. It actually shows that these two companies might actually have something up their sleeves this year. Also, before we get to the biggest winner today, Nvidia actually responded very positively. You can see, as at the time of this coverage, the stock is up by about 4.5%. Nvidia is now on the race to claim the leadership from Apple to become the most valuable company in the world. CEO Jensen Huang will be making a keynote address at the Consumer Electronics Show today. Why is this stock moving today? Number one, it wasn't just about the keynote. It was about Foxconn, one of the major suppliers and also production partner of Nvidia. They actually came out with a surprise earnings. The likes of ASML and even all the major semiconductor ETFs are now, they are responding positively to this. I believe that Nvidia and Apple will actually have a fight to actually showcase this year. Apple, to me, will be the winner, but Nvidia will follow up very closely. And last week, I'm also going to drop that video in the link in the description of this video. We actually, we disclosed our top picks in the AI category, and we believe that Nvidia is number one. I think Apple is actually about number 3 or number 4 on that ladder. So Nvidia is actually manifesting what we actually said will happen. Finally, just before I close on this note, if you have watched this far, please support us by subscribing to our channel, put on the notification bell so that you don't miss tomorrow's update, because I believe every day Wall Street, the financial markets, always has a surprise. Today, we woke up to the news that Disney will actually be combining Fubo and Hulu Plus. So Fubo actually took Disney to court some while ago, and they settled this, and Disney has now agreed to acquire Fubo and combine it with Hulu Plus. What this means for Fubo is that Fubo will no longer be a public quoted company, and you can see the stock has rocketed today by about 245% as at the time of this coverage. We believe Disney is now in the ring to fight the likes of Paramount Plus, the likes of YouTube TV, the likes of Netflix, the likes of even Apple TV. And this is part of the rejuvenation that Disney has been planning. And I also believe there might be other mergers, there might be other acquisition in this streaming game. Netflix, to me, will still be the winner, but actually consumers might be the one to actually benefit, because now that Fubo and Hulu might be combined to become Ubo, like some of these journalists actually said today, it is likely that the likes of Netflix will now go after some smaller players, or actually even create a new sub brand, or even bring more content. If you today, WWE, Netflix is launching WWE. So on that note, Fubo is the biggest winner today. Huba is also a winner today, and also Nvidia, and as well Netflix. So thank you so much for watching our update today. We are still going to unleash and expose our topics in the industrial, manufacturing, services, and aviation sector, the topics for this year. What we are trying to do is to make sure you digest what we have done with the AI picks. Let's get your feedback. Also, what is your take with Palantir? Do you think Palantir will go down as low as $50, of which, with what Morgan Stanley has done, they've stylishly just capped the stock to range between the 70s to the 60s. I don't necessarily see Palantir going as low as $50 or $40 because of so many momentum that is still building up. If you can actually remember, Palantir was admitted to the Nasdaq 100 less than 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I believe many of the index tracking the Nasdaq 100, I'm not sure they fully resized their holdings of Palantir. So let's see what will happen tomorrow. Let's see what will happen in the next coming weeks. We might actually even get a surprise announcement, and that might actually take the stock back to $8. So are you buying Palantir? Are you selling? Put in the comment section below. Like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel. We love you all. We actually are enjoying your support. Tomorrow we'll see you again. Keep investing, keep growing.